Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Welcome on in. It's the Mad Valid Mike podcast. We are back. Am I better than ever? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good for sure. Gonna put in some headphones, see if I can hear what I'm saying here. Hey, welcome on in. It's episode 13. It's Jabroni Sandwich. It's been a couple weeks. Had some physical ailments, worked through it. I am still alive. I got a lot of energy today. We are going to rock and roll here with Mad Valid Mike and get right into it. So, Jabroni Sandwich. Jabroni, let's start with the term jabroni. It is a foolish, contemptible person, somewhat of a despicable person as defined by dictionary.com. The word made it into dictionary.com in September of 2020. Jabroni is a word that most of you probably know from either The Rock, the wrestler, or I heard it from Travis Kelce calling the Cincinnati mayor a jabroni after Travis's Chiefs beat the mayor's Bengals in Arrowhead in Cincinnati, in Kansas City. Just calling him a jabroni for doubting the Chiefs winning at home. But The Rock made it popular in his wrestling time. And The Rock is who I want to go after right away. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has been a very, very successful young man. Good for him. Good for him. Good looking guy. I believe he played college football at one point for Miami University. The U. Went on to be a wildly successful entertainer in wrestling, in movies. My guess is he's probably put out an album of something. But having said all that, I recently came across an article where The Rock has gained the IP rights, the intellectual property rights of a ton of different sayings, including jabroni and candy ass and Rudy Poo, the people's champion, people's elbow, if you smell what The Rock's cooking. All of that is now owned by him. He is worth $800 million. Before all of that, he is worth $800 million. And the fake crowd around me wants to applaud. That's fine. Yes, he's entertained millions of us. Good for you. Where does it stop, Mr. Johnson? Where does it stop? So now anytime anybody puts "you sorry ass jabroni" or "candy ass" on a t-shirt or a hat or a poster, a bumper sticker, whatever, you now get money from that. How many generations are you trying to set up? I am sure that you've given plenty of money to charity. Good for you. Your net worth is $800 million. Stop it. You can keep entertaining us all you want. Get paid for your appearances. You were at the Super Bowl recently. Good for you. Hit while the iron is hot. Great. Why do you have to have coined phrases now to add to your ridiculous amount of piles of money? It just bothers me. It really does. And it should bother the rest of you. I know we live in a capitalistic society, and I'm fine with that. But when does it get to be too much greed? Greed is good, Gordon Gekko once said in Wall Street. So I'm not sure if I agree with him. But so that's me going after The Rock. He's a fine human being, I'm sure. But let's move on. As you noticed, I have a new wheel. It is the wheel of Mikey's Karaoke. So what I have done is I have simply just put random musical talents, bands, or artists in different sections of the wheel. I'm going to spin it, and then throughout this episode and maybe future episodes, I will break out into song. Okay, so let's give it the inaugural spin of the wheel and see what happens on Mikey's Karaoke. Didn't give it that great of a spin, but that's okay. What did it land on? What does that say? Does that say wild? The first one is wild. All right, how about this? If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends.
Now I had the time of my life, I've waited for so long. Now I finally found someone to stand by me.
DuckTales, woo!
All right, so the first inaugural spin was wild. Shocker. We'll give it one more spin. Let's give it one more spin. And if it lands on Spice Girls, I'm going to be really upset. What does it land on now? What does that say? I'll be there for you. These 5 words I swear to you. When you breathe, I want to be the air for you. I'll be there for you. I live and I die for you. Feel the sun from the sky for you. Words can't say what love can do. I'll be there for you. Yeah, it's not my best Bon Jovi imitation, but it is what it is. Let's move on. We're going to go into restaurant corner. We're going to give you a little restaurant tidbits here or there. In the last couple of weeks, I have been away from the Mad Valid microphone, and some things have happened in the restaurant that I must address. It has been a fun job. I've done it for a long, long time. I have great regulars, so I want to be careful what I say here. I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, let's be okay with being offended. A bunch of things I've seen in the last couple of weeks have angered me. Yep, shocker. I know, shocker alert. They have angered me. For instance, here's a few of them. When I am bringing your food, like Magical Mike does, a couple plates in this hand, maybe the salmon in this hand, I come up to, hey, I got your main meals here, salmon with the broccoli and rice. And then, basically, I'm just standing there, right? And yeah, I'm like, salmon, going once, going twice. You guys ordered not 15 minutes ago. Most of our main meals get out within 12 to 15 minutes. Open up your ojos. That's all I'm saying. Open up your ojos and listen. So when I have the salmon, and then when somebody actually, oh, it's mine, and their phone is sitting right there, or they have their purse there, or they have, do you want me to put the plate on top of your phone? I can do that. It's not going to be good for me, you, or anybody if I do that. I can. But if you don't mind just moving your stuff to the side so I have room for the plate, that would be absolutely fantastic. So that's number one. Number two, when pre-bussing. For those of you not in restaurants, pre-bussing is when a server or maybe a manager or a busboy comes by your table and takes off a plate or a cup or a glass that you absolutely don't need there, but you're still sitting at the table. So that's pre-bussing. Bussing is when everyone's left the table and it's just full of empty plates and dishes and everyone puts them in a bus tub or just takes them all. But pre-bussing is when you're still there. When I'm pre-bussing and I'm taking things away from the table to make more room for you so you have a better experience, please, and I'm begging you, I implore you, do not give me a Jenga-like creation that you've made with a small plate, a big plate, a cup, then a taco holder. You got a napkin in a couple spots, and then you're handing it to me as other people are handing me stuff. I'm not an octopus, number one. And number two, are you betting on whether I'm going to make it back to the kitchen without a loud crash of said Jenga plates? Just let me do it. Just sit back, have a good time, watch how much I'm pissed off. No, I'm just kidding. But, big plate and a smaller plate, and then a smaller plate. Maybe put some silverware on there. Make it nice and level. That's not too difficult. It's shapes, people. Shapes. Yeah. Gets me a little bit upset at times. Yeah, we'll give it one more spin just to kind of keep this going. What did it land on this time? What does that say? I can't even read it. Does that say it's on the purple one, right? Oh, Megan Trainor. Sure. It's all about that bass, no treble. It's all about that bass, no. Yeah, it's pretty clear. I ain't no size 2, but I can shake it like I'm supposed to do. I got the boom boom that all the girls chase, all the right junk in all the right places. And again, the fake crowd in front of me has nothing to say. Okay, here's one. I heard this the other day. Uh,
Excuse me. This fish is, it's, it's just too fishy. You know what I
you let me get this straight. You ordered fish, correct?
mean? I sure did.
And you're saying that the fish is too fishy. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, you are. I know it sounds weird, but it's too fishy. I don't want it. Don't make me another one. Just please get it out of my face. Here, let me put a couple other things on top of it so it's definitely not balanced in any way for you. Thank you very much.
Uh, all right. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Could I interest you in a cheeseburger that doesn't taste like meat? Maybe we can have one of those back there. Huh? Maybe some pretzel sticks that don't taste like bread. Huh? Oh, here's one. So the place I work in is pretty interesting. It's a challenge for management to staff it correctly, with all our different areas of the restaurant. The inside portion, obviously easy, but we have 2 patios. We have a covered patio. We have a beer garden. In Indiana, it sometimes rains when it's not supposed to rain. It sometimes doesn't rain when it's supposed to rain. So having the right amount of servers, keeping everybody happy, very tough to do. Not too long ago, a couple days ago, it did start raining for a little bit. And I heard, walking by the host stand, I heard the following.
Is it raining on your patio?
Is it raining in the parking lot? That's my question to you. Our patios are not 15 to 20 feet from the front door. Maybe 30 feet. I'll give you the benefit of extra 10 feet. Well,
Yeah, I know it was raining in the parking lot, but how's it on your patio?
what planet are you from? It's 20 feet away. Yes, it's raining on the patio, just like it was raining in the parking lot. Oh my goodness gracious. It is what it is. I mean, you guys, sometimes I just feel like people want interaction, which I'm fine with. I'm convinced that there's a bunch of dudes out there that ask the pretty girls that are working in my restaurant where the bathroom is, knowing full well where the bathroom is. They just wanted to engage a pretty young woman. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been standing right next to them, and they immediately, it's like I'm not even there, which is fine because I don't like when you ask where the bathroom is. We have a big sign right there. There's 4 corners. Find the corner. How about this? At the very end of the meal, somebody asked for a check, and we put the check down, and then you sit with it, and you sit with it, and you sit with it, and you sit with it. That's fine. You can do whatever you like. When I am not a closer and you are my last table, I might come up to you and be like, hey, I get to go home. Got to let the dogs out. I'll send a closer over. If you could just cash out with me, that'd be great. We don't close for another couple hours. You can stay as long as you like. I'll have a closer come by if you want more drinks or dessert or something. Most people are like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. They put their credit card on. I run the credit card. I bring it back, and they just leave it there. I'm going to need that slip. Hopefully there's a tip on there. Hopefully you weren't offended by what I just said. You could be. But I was willing to take that chance wanting to go home. What I do need is your signature on said slip. So it's there's a lot of different things you can do. You can take everything away from the table that doesn't need to be there. Maybe just have one of their drinks sitting there. So there's one glass on the table. I mean, they get the hint that way. But I don't like doing that. It's just, there's no rules. You can stay as long as you like, but just have a little bit of an awareness. Like if I had the balls to come up and say, I get to go home soon. Do you mind cashing out with me? I only do that when I'm pretty sure that they are done. I've been doing this a long time. As you can see, I'm not a spring chicken. So also have faith that I'm pretty good at doing that job. Outside the restaurant doors, I'm useless, as we can tell. But Inside the restaurant doors, I know what I'm doing. So I'm only going to ask that question or try and get you to cash out. If I'm pretty sure you're not, stay as long as you like. My theory is I think when people, the vast majority of people think when they cash out and the the server has all the money, the tip and or the credit card slip, that all service ends. That is not the case, not in my section. So if that happens and everyone is paid up and they are still there a half an hour, 45 minutes afterwards, I'll even go up to them and be like, I felt like I rushed you. Can I get you another drink, or you want to start another meal? I try and be funny, maybe get you a dessert. And that usually does the trick. Subconsciously, I don't mean to be rude, but there are times where I'm in 10 mode, just running around, because so many people are in a hurry these days that there are people that aren't in a hurry. Man, did I just go on and on and on and on and on. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Maybe one more spin. Let's do one more spin, and then we'll get going. Let's see. What does this one say? Does that what's? Oh, okay. So that one is every day. You're saying the words that I want you to say. There's a pain in my heart and it won't go away. Now I know I'm falling in deep, 'cause I need you here with me. That was Marshmallow. I like that song. I've been singing that song way too much. So here's a new segment. I rant you 3 wishes. Not I grant you 3 wishes. I rant you 3 wishes. Yeah. We are hoping that there are going to be no crickets after a few of these. I wish Biden would stop using the term and talking about shrinkflation. I really would. He is at least partly, if not mostly, to blame for shrinkflation, which is basically producers, manufacturers putting less product in their packaging and charging the same price. Well, everything costs more. When you wage a war on fossil fuels, right, wrong, or indifferent, it costs more to get everything where it needs to be. And we are in a capitalist society. It's all about supply and demand, buddy. You should, if I know that, you should know that. And stop like corporate greed. Yes, I talked about greed earlier. Yeah, we have some greed, but it's supply and demand. Oh, there's less than a pint in ice cream tubs now, and you're paying the same price. Well, we are a little bit overweight in this country, aren't we? So eating a little less ice cream might actually do us good. So indirectly, you did good with shrinkflation. But so then buy 2 of the things of ice cream, or just eat less. Or here's an idea. How about 75% of people that regularly buy ice cream boycott ice cream for a month? Do you know how quickly ice cream manufacturers will go back to using a pint or whatever strategies they've strayed from with inflation to get our demand back? Like, it's just supply and demand. I could care less if it's a pint or a half a pint. That's what I get. And if I don't like the price, I'm not going to buy it. It's just that simple. I don't. I'm at a loss. I'm kind of at a loss. Slap yourself out of it, Mike. Okay, next one. I wish false advertising would stop. So there's shrinkflation. It's kind of like that, but I'm not talking about that. What I am discussing in this little portion is Coke Zero, for instance. I hear people ask for Coke Zero all the time at restaurant, which is fine. We have Diet Coke, caffeine free, whatever. Maybe we'll get Coke Zero at some point. But I keep hearing Coke Zero, 0 sugar, 0 fat, but tastes just like Coke. No, it doesn't. If it tasted just like Coke, why would you have to have the need for Coca-Cola Classic? If it was exactly the same as Coke, but with no sugar, no calories, no fat, or whatever it is, why would you need Coke? It's a blatant lie. It might taste similar, good for you, but instead of the sugar, there's something else in there, aspartame or whatever. I drank Diet Coke for like a year and a half because I was convinced there was 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 caffeine. After that year and a half, I had never been fatter. I cut out all other sodas. I ate basically the same stuff, exercised the same amount. Drinking sugar-free Diet Coke made me as fat as I've ever been. So that's just my case. Same with Hawaiian Tropic Sport. I remember hearing ads not too long ago for Hawaiian Tropic Sport sunscreen. The brand new Sport. It, what's the word I'm looking for? You can sweat and you can go in the water and it doesn't affect the sunscreen. So why don't you do that with your regular product? I don't understand. So just regular Hawaiian Tropic is susceptible to water and sweat, where Hawaiian Tropic Sport isn't. Like what's the need for both of them? So then make all of your products the same. I don't know. I didn't really describe that well. There's a word I'm missing. I might find it by the end of the episode. We'll see. What do we got? What do we got? What does that say? Marshmallow again. I only know one of their songs. I'm not singing that shit again. No chance. What does that say? Oh, it's for your Swifties, I believe. Is that Taylor Swift, I believe? I can make a bad guy good for the weekend. No, what was that song that I loved? Our song is the same doors, tapping on your window, and you're on the phone and you talk real slow, 'cause you're late and your mama don't know. Your song is the same doors, and tapping on your window, 'cause you're on the phone and you talk real slow, 'cause it's late and your mama don't know. I thought that was a pretty good song by her. She hasn't really had a hit since. I wish people would stop lauding. This is the final in my rant to 3 wishes. I wish people would stop lauding, cheering for when anglers, fishermen, catch a fish and throw it back. Well, we threw it back. You mutilated its mouth and then threw it back with its family. Like, can you imagine? You catch fish goes back down in the water.
Shirley, what happened to your mouth? There's like holes in it now. You look ridiculous. Did you try and get fillers in your lips?
I've heard people say, oh, fish can't hear, or fish can't hear. I don't think they can. Fish can't feel their mouth. Like they have no sensory in their mouth. I'm pretty sure they can feel the pain in their mouth. Do you know how? I fished once, not for a long time in my life, but I fished. And I'm pretty sure they can feel when there's a hook in their mouth just because they tug and they tug and they keep tugging. They're fighting. I'm pretty sure they can feel that. Yeah, whatever. Have a good time. I mean, I don't eat fish anymore. I eat filet of fish from McDonald's. I'm pretty sure that's not fish. But I stay away from seafood. So anyway, that was Rant You Through Wishes. I'm going to end this episode with one more ripping on a celebrity. And it is none other than a very popular quarterback from the NFL in America's team. Hey, we're America's team. We haven't won in 30 years. Guess who it is? Of course, the Cowboys. Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, get over yourself. Oh my God. Dak Prescott said the following. I don't play for money. Yeah, he said that. I don't play for money. I have never cared for it, to be honest with you. Direct quote from Dak Prescott. Bullshit! You don't play for money. I leave it up to the business people. Oh, the business people that you hired to get as much money as possible? Are you out of your freaking mind, Dak Prescott? I cannot believe you say that. So here's what I say to you, Dak Prescott. I dare you, Dak Prescott, to play for the league minimum for the rest of your career. I'm not even asking you to play for nothing. Play for the league minimum. I'm not asking you to give away all the assets, the millions of assets you have, the millions of dollars you have in banks across the country and probably across the planet. I'm not asking you to get rid of that. Your clothes, your jewelry, your cars, none of that. I am daring you to play for the league minimum for the next 3 to 4 years. I believe you're under contract negotiations once again, which, by the way, a few years ago when you were under contract negotiations, people were asking, are you going to take a hometown discount? To which you replied, nobody's wife makes as much as his, being Tom Brady, his wife, Giselle. So Tom Brady had just signed a big contract. Then you're going to take a hometown discount so your team can be better. So there's a better, more in the salary cap to use on other players and other positions. And he responded with, no, I'm not going to take a hometown discount. I don't have a wife like Tom Brady does that is worth $300 million. Yes, money means to you, as it should mean something to you, as it should. Do not say, I don't play for the money. Are we that stupid? I mean, yes, we are down to Biden and Trump. So millions of us have kind of proven that we are, but not that stupid. Stop it. Get over yourself. I don't even know what to say. I'm like out of words. Oh boy. Dak Prescott, you are part of America's team, and that's fine, and everything's good and dandy. I wish you nothing but the worst this year. I hope that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce break up. I don't know. I just want to talk about football. And I'm going to talk about football. We got some things coming up. Going to get a little edgy. Me and cousin Carl will be my co-host next week. We're going to go to co-hosts, guest hosts, if you will, for the next few weeks. And cousin Carl is going to be the first up. Got a big wedding this weekend, a Cuth wedding, which will be fun as hell. A lot of dancing, probably a ton of drinking. I'm assuming some older aunts and uncles are still into the wacky stuff. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if there's anybody that falls. We'll see who wins the wedding. We'll talk about that. So we're going to break down the wedding. A couple other topics that cousin Carl wants to talk about that might be a little bit more edgy than we've been presenting here, which is awesome. Also have White Guy John coming up in a couple weeks. We are going to go right into politics. We have our own party that we are going to develop. So that's kind of a spoiler and also a teaser at the same point. So White Guy John. Lots of awesome things going on the Mad Valid Mike podcast. Keep tuning in. Help me out. If you like any of my episodes or parts of any of my episodes, repost them on social media. Tell other people. I love doing this. It's not getting a lot of views as of yet. I'm trying to build. I think I have about 15 or 16 devoted followers. I love you all. Please keep tuning in. It's going to keep getting better and better. I promise you. And until next time, this is Mad Valid Mike signing out. Be good, do good.